the 4th September 2004. They told me I said goodbye to the friends I was with on that night, and I went on my way back home. But the thing is, I never returned home on that night. A month and a half later, I woke up on a bed in hospital, but I didn't know where I was or whatever had happened.
The police called me in the middle of the night, and they told me the train had a sort of an accident. So we rushed to the hospital, and we found him at the ITU section.
He was found unconscious in a car accident. He was the driver of the car, and when he was brought in, he was in a very poor state, and he was in fact admitted immediately to the intensive care unit. He probably lost consciousness before the accident, and that's why the accident happened. So we set off to start a number of investigations and tests, including scans of his brain and MRIs of his brain, and in the end the diagnosis that resulted was of a thrombosis in the deep veins of his brain. So we could say that he had suffered like a stroke in a way, and the treatment had to be very, very delicately balanced.
Since he was in a very bad condition, my sister-in-law also used to pray to the Divine Mercy, and we all prayed with her.
Have mercy on us and on the whole world.
Miraculously, after 1.5 months, he started waking up from unconsciousness.
Mercy on us and on the whole world.
We all thank God, and especially the Divine Mercy, for hearing our prayers.
It's remarkable how he got through it, because it was a very critical situation at that time.
After being released from hospital, I had to spend another 5 months at home trying to make full recovery. At first I wasn't able to walk as I used to do before, so I had lots of physiotherapy. I had even gone through some speech therapy. Then after 5 months I tried to go back to my workplace, but it was a bit difficult for me. So then I spent 2 years at home doing nothing, losing my faith. I was hopeless. I was in a really terrible state, in a state of misery. I was rebellious at everybody, at God especially. I had so many questions inside my head. Why did it happen to me? I was only 20 years at that time when it happened. It was my first car. Had bought it just after 6 months, then crashed it. I was really in a miserable state. So then later, after these 2 years, my rebellion started somehow declining. And then this friend of mine had told me that Mass helps, and those words got stuck in my head. For all these years I had been so far away from God. I knew there was a God, but I wanted to put him aside. I knew I had to make a change in my life. I was looking for answers, and so I started going to Mass on Sundays. And since I was looking for something more deep than the material life I was living, it was really helping me to realize what I was losing in life. So I felt that after going to Mass, the next step was me going to confession to make up for all those years after the accident. At that time, I had to confess my rebellious side, which came out in full after the accident. Confession was like a bridge that reconciled me to God. And then, once I went to confession, I felt my soul was at ease again. I found inner peace, that inner peace that I had lost because of my actions, for what had happened to me. And then I found a new job, which at first seemed really good. I was earning money, that's what I wanted to do. But still, after the first year at this working place, I was kind of falling into depression again. It's okay that I had the material stuff, had the money and everything, but I still was unhappy. I desperately wanted more. After some time I remember this Christian group that I used to attend events of when I was young, and I started looking them up online to see if they still met, if they had any kind of events. When I found out they still did, I started going to their events, which happened to be on Saturdays, and since I didn't work the weekends, it was okay for me to go there. It was like a new home for me. I found new friends. They were all like genuinely seeking God. I had overcome my rebellion by that time. I was looking at the accident in a more optimistic way. I was seeing the good out of something bad, and that God really does work the good for all of us. So I was drawing closer to God, but I was still unhappy at work. So I had to make a choice. It was either me staying at this job in the evenings, or giving my life to God and then just entrusting myself into His hands. And so soon afterwards I made that choice. I was keeping in mind also that one cannot serve two masters. You either serve money or serve God. I wanted to serve God rather than the money. God was giving me the eternal perspective. Seek first His kingdom and His righteousness, and all these things will be given to you. So therefore, trusting my life in God's hands helped me realize that I wanted to go back to school again and to further my studies. As Jesus says, "For what will it profit a man if he gains the whole world but forfeits his soul?" That wide is the road that leads to destruction, and many take it. And during the time of the accident, I was walking on that road. Today, I try my hardest to walk on the narrow road. That is the only road that leads to salvation. We never know when our last day will be, and knowing that I had almost lost my life, nowadays I appreciate life even more. I realize how beautiful life really is. Jesus says, "I am the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in me, even though they die, they shall live." So the 5th September 2004, at first to me seemed to be the day I was cursed. But nowadays, after 10 years, it is to me the day I was blessed. Because I was given another chance of life, and I don't want to waste it. Even though I don't know what my future holds, I know who holds my future.